Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, kindly subscribe. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for always showing some love. So today is episode 3 of the PEPPERDEM gang reunion show, and I'm here to give you all the tea. So the show was kick-started off with the question of who showed off the most in the house. Joe said Jackie, Kim said Mercy, Cindy said no one, Ella said she showed off, Mercy showed off, a couple of other people showed off. And Omashola said he showed off, Mike showed off, and he said Toyo showed off because of Toyo's 6-packs. But the intriguing one that was Mercy herself. Ford said Mercy showed up because she bought 3 boxes and she never wore a dress twice. Oh my god. But does that mean she was showing off though? We'll later find out about that. So Ebuka asked Mercy what the plan was for her to have come to the house with such number of clothes, because he felt that if it was a plan, it could have backfired because people would have thought she was rich. So if she was rich, what was she doing in the house? And this was Lambo's response. So Mercy responded by saying that that was her lifestyle before Big Brother Naija. So it wasn't a matter of she coming to show off there, that was her, and that even outside the house she's like that. And as a winner, we can see that she keeps slaying back to back to back, and she hardly repeats her clothes, and that it takes her months to repeat her clothes. And I'm sure we see that, so this is not debatable, so we're not even going to waste too much time on that. And she went on to repeat on her Twitter that being a fashionista is a lifestyle. You don't need to show off. Ebuka now directed the question to Jackie to ask Jackie if she felt that she was also showing off her tech skills by saying she's a tech girl, IT girl, blah blah blah. And Jackie said something that got me thinking. It actually threw me off balance a little, and I was a bit confused by that. I think she said she sold a certain part of herself to us, that, and that's what she wanted to sell to us. And also she said that she didn't come there to win the money, and that she came there to show that side of her as being like a tech queen, and she achieved that, and that's that. And that she doesn't believe that was her showing off, and that she's intelligent. So hey, why not let people identify her by that? So that was so the same question was directed to Nelson, but this time about Omashola. And he said yes, Omashola was a bit loud, but he felt that Omashola's loudness was channeled to a particular energy, or when you come for him, that's when he gets loud. But even in his loudness, he felt Omashola never disrespected anybody. In a nutshell, Nelson didn't think Omashola was a show-off, but Diane felt Omashola was a show-off when it came to arena games, because he was good at arena games, and she felt there was no good or bad kind of show-off. And if you're good at something, why not show it off? So this question was thrown out to all the housemates, or most of the housemates, where they were asked who they thought showed off the most or bragged the most. And the top 3 names that came up were Omashola, Tacha, and Sheyi. If you agree, drop a comment in my comment section and let's keep discussing. And then this is when the table started to crack a little before it broke. Ford chipped in with something saying that there's a difference between showing off and bragging. So showing off wasn't a bad thing to begin with, but there's a difference between that and bragging. So then Ebuka asked Kim that Kim mentioned Tacha's name, and he wanted to know why. And then Kim gave the explanation by saying that, first of all, she felt Tacha was rude for saying that she was being escorted by other housemates to the house. And at a point in time, she actually did look at Tacha and look at herself. So that comment of look at them and look at me, she didn't really get it. And she felt like Tacha kept saying it even inside the house. And that for her was showing off and a bit of her bragging. So she gave those 2 examples. And then as she gave those examples, Tacha responded by telling Kim Oprah that the only thing or the only issue Tasha sees is Kim being insecure, and all Kim has to do is to fix her insecurities. And wow. Wow. And so Ebuka went ahead to now ask for Esther's opinion, and this is what Esther thought. So basically, Esther said that it was a game, and to get ahead, you needed to put someone down, and by doing that, you need to get to the person's head. And if you're going to be that person, Ebuka made a comment that does that mean that person has to live with the consequences, because he felt that doing that meant that it incurred some consequences. And Esther was like, yeah, definitely, but you the person putting the other person down or getting in the other person's head had to be ready for whatever consequence comes your way. Sorry, I sound a bit nasal. I have a cold, and I'm so sorry. I'm not feeling too good, but I still had to give you your tea. So in a nutshell, Tasha was saying that if Kim felt intimidated by her confidence, it means that it was her insecurities playing jokes on her. There was a bit of a back and forth, and then Tasha came back to say that, well, the last time she checked, when they both stood up, Kim Oprah left the house, and Tasha was still in the house. So then Kim responded and told Tasha that, no, you didn't leave, you were disqualified. And there was this whole back and forth, and then Kim made a mention of the fact that she claims she's learning, but she hasn't still learned anything. She's still the same old Tasha. So there was a bit of a back and forth, and this whole repetition thing, Chihuahua, Muzo, Chihuahua. I'm not saying they said that, but that kind of, it was getting old and all, so it had to move away. So now Venita weighed in on the subject, and this is what Venita said. Venita, in a nutshell, said that Tasha belittles others to feel better about herself, and Venita kind of understands Tasha because she's been in that situation before, but with time she got to learn. So she actually linked it to the saying of hurt people. So, and that Tasha should just be given some time to develop, and as she develops, she'll have a nice way of fixing her confidence so that she doesn't hurt other people. So Kim then now said thank you, and Esther said she was confused. I don't know. So then it was a lot of back and forth, and then Kim now told Tasha that your insecurities make you speak like that. You said you've learned, but you haven't. You left. You were disqualified, as I said earlier. And also Ford had something to say, and this is what Ford weighed in on in this subject. He said when a braggart beats a confident person, there'll be a face-off, and definitely we know, I don't think he was throwing the shade, but definitely he was trying to say something, which made sense. So Mercy tried to weigh in, and Mercy said that to her, both the person bragging and the person acting insecure are both insecure, because if she felt that if you're bragging, you are insecure, and if you also feel intimidated by the person who is bragging, they are both insecure. But Ebuka kind of cut her off and then went over to Ike. And then Ike gave a very simple and good answer. Ike was like, well, he's the best person to answer this question because he feels he's a very confident person, but he doesn't have to put others down to show his confidence. And basically that was the tall and short of everything, to begin, to end, to whatever with. And then at the end of the day, Tasha wanted to explain. So in her explanation, Mercy laughed, and actually she literally laughed her ass off. Like, she laughed doing it, because during Tasha's explanation, excuse me, but she was a bit all over the place. She was trying to define what confidence was, what arrogance was, and it didn't work. I'm sorry, the explanation didn't work. So yeah, that was a bit off. So her explanation wasn't good, but for an outspoken person, you could see that part works for her. I won't lie. So yeah, as she was talking, Shay cut her off a bit and said he couldn't hear her. But her response to Shay was that he should wait for when the show will be aired to hear her opinion. So then Shay later broke the table. And in Shay's response, Shay said he believes that empty barrels actually make the most noise throughout the corridor, and that was the breaking point. But then Ebuka was like, but at a point, a lot of people were complaining that Shay was also bragging. And Shay actually, this is one, like, I actually respected him for this. He actually owned up to his mistake, and he actually said that yes, he admits that at a point he said some things that he shouldn't have, and he's apologizing to Fraud for calling for the peasants, because he couldn't believe he actually did that, and for him that was bragging and that was demeaning, and he belittled Fraud then, and he would apologize for that, and he did that on national TV. And for me, that was that was remarkable. But Tasha still stood her ground on the fact that she was confident and the others were intimidated by her. So basically, today's episode was all about confidence, bragging, and what else? Yeah, their confidence and bragging. So how the two, relate, or how the two you get what I mean, Sha. I'm not feeling too good. So yeah, this is the tea. Enjoy. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. And pardon me for sounding a bit off. Thank you so much for always watching my videos. Good night. In a nutshell, Tacha defended or held her ground that she didn't belittle anyone. She had to hype herself, be her own hype woman, because she didn't know anybody in the house, and she did it the best way she can without stepping on toes, because she was always to herself. So to her, she was never arrogant to anyone. So basically, that was what the show was about today, and the topic ended with bragging, with Shay subtly calling Tacha an empty barrel. Of course, we all know that after the reunion, there's going to be drama on Twitter. So Tacha went on Twitter to write some stuff. And then she launched her product that we've been waiting for so long. She finally launched the Power Tacha, which is a power bank for her Titans and any other person who needs a power bank. Yeah, that's the tea. Good night.